Tomorrow, you get to choose between a politics of blame and divisiveness and resentment, or you can choose a politics that says, we're all stronger together. I've got some friends with me here who believe in that better politics. Your outstanding U.S. Senator Gary Peters is in the House. Representative Debbie Dingell. Representative Brenda Lawrence. Representative Sandy Levin. Some people who aren't quite as famous, but I want to take a minute to thank, because I'm feeling a little sentimental. This is going to be probably my last day of campaigning for a while. But not just here in Michigan, all across America, I want to say thanks to the organizers of so many grassroots efforts. There are some organizers here who got their start on my first campaign. And have never stopped working, picking up phones, hitting the streets, living and breathing the hard work of change every single day. You are the best organizers on the planet. I am so proud of you. And it is because of you that I'm here today. It's because of you and the work you do that we got a chance to continue to make history tomorrow. Now, think about where we were 8 years ago. The thing is, I just realized some of you were like 10. Some of you were, they made it while I was out there campaigning, you were watching the Disney Channel. Josh is great. I know, because I was sitting there. Although, I had a soft spot for SpongeBob. They wouldn't let me watch what I wanted to watch. But, for those of you who don't quite remember 8 years ago, we were living through 2 long wars, going through the worst economic crisis in 8 years. And because of the resilience and strength of the American people, but also because you gave me a chance to put in place policies on behalf of working families, we were able to turn the page. We took what could have been a Great Depression and turned it into recovery. Turned job losses into 15.5 million new jobs. We saw an auto industry that was flat on its back roar its way back to break new records. The unemployment rate in Michigan below the national average, and across the nation, the unemployment rate in half. Last year, incomes went up faster than any time in 30 years. Poverty went down faster than any time in 30 years. 20 million Americans have health insurance that didn't have it before. We doubled our production of clean energy. We became the world leader in fighting climate change. Brought home so many of our men and women in uniform. Took out Osama bin Laden. High school graduation rates all-time high. College graduation all-time high. Marriage equality a reality from coast to coast. That happened because people in 08 decided to choose hope over fear. And over the course of these 8 years, all across 50 states, I've always seen what made America great. I have seen you. Americans of every faith, every background, Republicans and Democrats, who understand that we're stronger together. Young, old, men, women, black, white, Latino, Asian, Native American, people with disabilities, gay, straight, all of us pledging allegiance to the red, white, and blue. That's the America I know, and there's only one candidate in this race who's devoted her life to that better America. And the end of every campaign brings all kinds of craziness and negative ads and noise and distractions. And for those of you who are voting for the first time, I know sometimes you think, well, this is kind of strange. It's not always like that. I want you to tune all out the noise. And I want you just to focus, because the choice you face when you step into the voting booth, it really could not be clear. Donald Trump is temperamentally unfit to be commander-in-chief. Think about this. Over the weekend, his campaign took away his Twitter account. Now, if your closest advisors don't trust you to tweet, then how can we trust him with the nuclear codes? But we've got a lot of businessmen and women who succeed without sticking small businesses. Once they've already done work for you and then suddenly you don't pay them, and you basically say, you know what, because I got more lawyers than you, I don't have to pay you. This is the first candidate in decades to hide his tax returns. He hasn't paid his federal income taxes in years. Which means that he's not contributing to our veterans. He's not contributing to our troops. He's not contributing to our outstanding public universities. And by the way, since we're in Michigan, take a look at what he said about the auto industry. Now remember, when I came into office, the industry was flat on its back. And we made some tough decisions to bring workers, management, everybody together in order to revitalize the industry. Just last summer, Donald Trump said, you could have let it go bankrupt plan. Wow. Wow. I want you to understand, had the big three gone bankrupt, or two of the three gone bankrupt, that could have cost 1 million jobs across the country. That could have killed Michigan's economy. But Donald Trump didn't stop there. He actually suggested shipping Michigan's auto jobs to states that don't have unions so they can pay their workers less. Don't move. He said this. Look it up. He said, squeeze Michigan, make Michigan hurt. Then your auto workers would have no choice but to accept less pay. That is not somebody who's a champion for working people. Don't move. He can't hear your boots, but he'll hear your votes tomorrow. This is not somebody who's a champion for working families. For all this tough talk about China, he uses Chinese steel in his hotels. He's giving jobs to Chinese steel workers, not American steel workers. For all this tough talk on trade, the trade war he threatens to trigger might well damage the auto industry all over again.
You gotta go.
Every time my administration has brought a trade enforcement case against China that's been decided, the United States of America has won. That's how you stand up for American workers. So, for every auto worker on the assembly line right here in Michigan, every small business owner, every barkeep, every teacher in communities that depend on the auto industry, I think I've earned some credibility here. Are working double shift now. The auto industry has record sales. I think I've earned some credibility here. Manufacturing jobs have grown at the fastest rate since the 90s when another Clinton was president. I think we've earned some credibility here. But Donald Trump is not the guy who's going to look out for you. You need to listen. Do not be bamboozled. Don't fall for the okie doke. He is 7 years older. The students with their college debt. Specific plans, not vague plans, not imaginary plans. Not plans that don't add up. She knows how to do it. And that's why she needs to be the next president of the United States. Let me tell you something else I've learned about this job, Michigan. I love you too, but I got it. One thing you learn about this job is who you are. What you are doesn't change once you move into Oval Office. It only gets magnified. A spotlight is put on it. It's like an EKG for your character. If you denigrate minorities before you take office, then you'll denigrate minorities after you take office. If you think of immigrants as criminals and rapists when you're running for office, then that's how you're going to think once you're in office. If you mock people with disabilities or treat women as objects, pigs, dogs, and rating them on a 1 to 10 scale instead of based on their character and intelligence. Than our generals do about fighting terrorism, even though you don't know the difference between Shia and Sunni. And that's how you have to know yourself as a commander in chief. You know, it's bad being arrogant when you know what you're talking about. But it's really bad being arrogant when you don't know what you're talking about. They say they really like what you're doing and you're kind of slow to denounce or separate yourself from it. That's what you're going to do when you're in office. If you disrespect the Constitution by trying to shut down the free press when they write things you don't like, or trying to throw your opponent in jail while you're in the middle of a presidential debate, or discriminate against people of different faith, that's what you will do when you're in office, regardless of the oath to uphold the Constitution you have to take in this office. So Donald Trump is uniquely unqualified to hold this job. But the good news, Michigan, is you are uniquely qualified to make sure he does not get the job. And the good news is you don't just have to vote against something. You actually have a candidate who's worthy of your vote. A candidate who's smart. A candidate who's steady. A candidate who's tested. Probably the most qualified person ever to run for this office. Hillary Clinton. I will tell you, sometimes I get frustrated watching the coverage of this election. There's a bunch of it that has not been on the left. But I want to tell you something right now. The way campaigns have unfolded, we just start accepting crazy stuff as normal. And people, if they just repeat attacks enough and outright lies over and over again, as long as it's on Facebook and people can see it, as long as it's on social media, people start believing it. And it creates this dust cloud of nonsense. So I had to bite my tongue after a lot of the nonsense I've heard about Hillary. I know Chelsea has. Can you imagine? Just crazy conspiracy theorizing. But I know Hillary. She's somebody who's dedicated her life to making this country better. Think about how she got this far as a young woman. She was under age. While Donald Trump and his men were being sued by the Justice Department for denying housing to African-American families, Hillary, about your age, was going undercover from school to school to make sure minority kids were getting equal education. She'll be smart, she'll be steady. She actually respects working Americans. She'll make sure the economy works for everybody who who are still struggling out there, folks who feel like they're not getting a fair shake. She will work her heart out to create jobs that families can live on, child care that you can afford. She'll fight for students who are struggling with college debt. She'll fight to make sure that women get paid the same for doing the same work as men. She knows workers deserve a higher minimum wage. She knows how the world works. She will make sure to keep America strong and respected. She won't turn people against each other just to win an election. She will be a leader for all of us, because she knows we're stronger together. And that's what this all comes down to, Michigan. I said this before. The most important office in a democracy is not president, it's not senator, it's not congressman or mayor. It's the office of citizen. The most powerful word in our democracy is the word we. We the people. We shall overcome. Yes, we can. America has never been. America is not about what one person can do for you. I didn't say yes, I can. I said yes, we can. Yes, we can. I wasn't a perfect man. I wouldn't be a perfect president, but I said I will work alongside you. I will work as hard as I can to make sure that all of us together can advance the causes we believe in. What we can achieve together through this sometimes frustrating, often slow, but ultimately enduring role that we play in self-government. This is what this country runs on, is you deciding that you care enough about it to get involved. Even when the odds are steep, even when the road is long, that's our history. That's why patriots chose revolution over tyranny. That's how GIs your age defeated fascism. That's how women found the courage to reach for the battle. That's how Americans crossed the bridge in Selma. That's how workers organized for collective bargaining and better wages. They did it together. In this country, you don't have to be born to wealth or privilege to make a difference. You don't have to practice a certain faith or look a certain way to bend the arc of history in a better direction. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men are created equal. That women are endowed by the Creator with certain inalienable rights. That's what makes America exceptional. All of us equal. All of us having a voice. All of us making a claim on the American dream. All of us fulfilling our responsibilities. And not just enjoying the rights of this incredible nation, this amazing experiment in self-government. That's what it's about. And so, Michigan, whatever credibility I've earned after 8 years as president, I'm asking you to trust me on this. I already voted. I voted for Hillary Clinton. When she is president, this country will be in good hands. I'm asking you to do the same, especially the young people here. Where you know you can make a difference. Not that often you got a chance to move history in a better direction. This is one of those moments. This is one of those moments. Don't let it slip away. You have the chance to reject a coarse, divisive, mean-spirited politics that takes us back. You can elect a leader who spent her entire life trying to appeal to the better natures, angels of our nation. You have a chance to elect our first female president. Our daughters and our sons. And so after all the noise, after the negative ads, after all the campaigning, all the rallies, it now just comes down to you. It's out of Hillary's hands now, it's out of Michelle's hands, it's out of my hands. It's in your hands. The fate of our democracy depends on what you do when you send into that voting booth tomorrow? How many people you bring to make sure they vote? Do not fall into the easy cynicism that says your vote doesn't matter, all politicians are the same. That's what special interests and lobbyists, my opponents, Hillary's opponents, that's what they want you to think. So you don't go vote. Your vote matters. There's states where I run 2 votes a precinct. That's how I run that state. Your voice matters. Your voice makes a difference. I have heard it. And for all the tough lessons that I've learned during this presidency, for all the times I've fallen short, I have told Hillary, and I'll tell you, what's picked me up every single time, what has gotten me working as hard as I can, even when I'm discouraged, even when I'm down, it's been the American people.
Yes, we can!
Who won the lottery but then kicked back and retired from college. Wife wanted the new cars he built, kept clocking away because he loved his work. That's who I think about. The young woman in Sterling Heights who wrote me 7 years ago to say she was worried about her family's future in Michigan, then checked in again to say this year that her dad's supply company was hiring, she was working her way through Macomb Community College. She kept me going. But insisted on winning her registration back, wrote me and said, I remember the victories previous generations won for me and generations after me. I can assure you, Mr. President, I will keep fighting. If I haven't stopped fighting at 100 years old, then neither can you. A 100-year-old woman, if she's not tired, I'm not tired. She's stepping up. I ask you to do for Hillary what you did for me. I ask you to carry her the same way you carried me. I ask you to make her better the same way you made me better. Tomorrow, if you're willing to stand with me again, if you're willing to get your friends and neighbors and co-workers to the polls again, if you're willing to reject fear again, if you're willing to embrace hope again, then we will finish what we started. We will elect